A very good evening to all our viewers. It's Sunday the 30th December and welcome to a brand new edition of News First Weekend coming to you live from our News First studios in Colombo. I'm Arundhati Mudanayaka. Let's start off with a look at the stories making headlines this evening.
What caused the freak accident at the nightclub in Nava Mawatha? Was it in fact an accident or was it the result of negligence? Ministers displeased in institutions gazetted to ministries. Disputes over demands for ministerial portfolios among backbench MPs. Minister Sajid Premadasa's response to claims by government MPs on housing projects. World Heritage Site Singharaja in danger.
Now the stories in detail. 24 hours after the tragic death of a local rugby player, there are more questions than answers. What actually happened? Here is a News First special report.
One life was lost and two others were injured after the lift and elevator collapsed here last morning. Now 24 hours have lapsed since the incident has happened, claiming the life of one person, a valuable rugby player to our nation. Now even more than 24 hours later, we still do not know whether the incident was actually an accident or whether it was due to negligence. The cause of the accident still remains a mystery.
24-year-old Kokila Samanda Perumal lost his life in the accident while two others sustained injuries. Kokila was a star rugby player for CR&FC. Known as a humble player, he was more fondly known as Marco. The post-mortem examination of the remains was conducted at the National Hospital. Blocks in his respiratory system caused by injuries to his chest cavity were identified as the cause of death. How did this accident occur?
About 10 of us went inside. After that, we pushed a button and waited for the lift. After that, all of us went inside with about 4 to 5 others who were there. When we tried to go up, the lift fell down in a flash. All I saw was Marco's left foot and left arm. People inside shouted. We couldn't do anything at the time. I removed my shirt, wrapped it around my hand and broke the glass that was there. The people outside broke the glass that was on the other side. We broke the glass and took the people out of the lift. There were no signs of an overload. The lift must either go up, or if it was overloaded, the doors would not have closed. If it was an overload, you basically cannot move. Nothing like that happened. The lift suddenly fell down.
There were allegations that the accident was caused after a group entered the elevator exceeding the weight limit and pushed a wrong button. However, the group of friends who were with Kokila in the elevator at the time of the accident deny this claim.
The elevator went down when the 9th floor button was pushed. When the elevator was going down, there was a small gap there. Kokila tried to go through that gap. Everything happened in a matter of seconds. There were 12 people. There were no alarms. Even the door didn't close.
Police spokesperson SP Ruwan Gunasekara said the police reported facts on the matter to the 4th Magistrate Court yesterday. According to SP Gunasekara, court had ordered for a technical assessment report on the cause of the collapse of the elevator to be compiled by the State Engineers Corporation and submitted to court. The police media spokesperson added that the elevator was time-worn and future action on the incident will be taken after the technical assessment report is submitted.
The IGP has instructed us to strictly enforce the law if it is revealed that the negligence of a certain party had caused the death of this individual.
The
Sunday Times reported today that the government wants flexibility in spending ahead of polls.
The government is to renegotiate certain components of the reform program with the International Monetary Fund. The paper reported that the negotiations are to allow for more public spending in the run-up to the next election. The paper quotes the finance minister as saying, "We will, of course, want a certain amount of flexibility in spending." Unquote. IMF loans are conditional to a country agreeing to implement policy reforms that require strict financial discipline or fiscal consolidation to reduce budget deficits and accumulation of debt stock.
When taking a look at the key economic indicators of the country, though there is an increase in the inflows of FDIs in the recent past, Sri Lanka is short of about $700 million to reach the target it has set itself for the financial year 2018. The government is continuously urging investors to start businesses in Sri Lanka despite being unable to provide tax incentives.
Sri Lanka is not doing well. Our target in 2025 is about $5 billion per annum of foreign direct investment, but this year we got about $1 billion plus. So what we have to do is we have to put our act together, because we are behind from our target for this year, about $700 million from foreign direct investment. On the other hand, we have foreign direct outflow because of multiple reasons. One is the political instability we had. Also, on the other hand, it's not easy to do businesses in Sri Lanka.
While Sri Lanka is reeling from the economic damage of political instability in the country and struggling to reach its FDI target, our neighboring country India, for the first time in 2 decades, has been getting more investment than China. During this year, India saw more than $38 billion of foreign direct investment compared with China's $32 billion. Recently, the Megapolis Institute went to England and spoke to members of our commercial institutes. People don't like to come here and simply invest in any business in the country. People ask what will happen to the money that they invest here. What will happen to the money in 10 years? What will happen if the government changes? They ask various questions like that. We can't answer those questions. We try to convince them that they are signing this agreement with the government and not with the governing party. But with certain things that are happening in the country, people are not happy to just invest their money here. The system of adding intermediaries and money being spent on taking care of their needs must be stopped. That is all I can say from our side. The rest can only be done by those in power in our country. We can't do them. Meanwhile, the Colombo Stock Exchange has shown disappointing signs and has shown a nearly 6% index drop compared to 2017. Amidst all of this, the irresponsible nature of how the subject ministers in charge of attracting FDIs into the country acted in the past is further highlighted by the recent statement by Minister Malik Samaravikrama in Parliament regarding the Singapore-Sri Lanka FTA. SB was also with the 14 observations. They have been submitted on the 16th again. I have the cabinet paper and asked the Attorney General. He said that there is no impairment. You can file a case and see what would happen.
We all also see the situation of direct investment into the country. No direct investment is coming in. Why? Because when we saw Jaya Jawardhan, Ranasinghe Premada, Vijay Tunga, there were money coming in, flowing into the country as investment. Now it doesn't come. Why? They don't have confidence. Who is the man who is in charge of foreign investments? Malik Samaravikrama. Who will come? A Volkswagen fraud that was done in this country. The Singapore Free Trade Agreement that was done in this country. All without the knowledge of the parliament, without the knowledge of the cabinet, these things were done.
Subjects and duties of cabinet and non-cabinet ministers and the state institutions that come under their purview were announced through an extraordinary gazette notification on Friday night. However, various views are being expressed about this within the government and the opposition.
It is noteworthy that as per the Gazette notification in question, there are no state institutions that come under certain ministerial portfolios. One such ministry is the Ministry of Buddha Sasana and Northwestern Development. Though there are 3 institutions that come under the Ministry of Buddha Sasana, the subject minister Gamini Jayavikrama Pereira has not been assigned any institutions under the subject of Northwestern Development. Financial allocations are received. This is an open ministry. It has not been approved through a law or an act, therefore it is open. I know how to work and to get the work done, just as how one of the chief ministers did. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka Telecom and Sri Lankan Airlines, which was under the Ministry of Transport, have not been mentioned in this Gazette notification. It is so far not under our ministry and we will look into it as it has not been gazetted. I hope that it will be included in a Gazette in the future. If not, the President and the Prime Minister will do something in this regard. The President is currently overseas on tour. Upon his return this evening, we will discuss this. There are 10 institutions under the Ministry of Transport and Civil Aviation. During the last 51 days, Sri Lankan Airlines was under the Ministry of Transport. Only the Sri Lankan Airlines is missing and all the previous institutions still come under the ministry. A state of utter chaos has been created. Many had requested the President not to entrust responsibilities to ministries on the subjects of national security and the future existence of the country. The people who love this country have asked the president to use his full authority in his last chance to save the country. Therefore, decisions will be made once the president returns to the country. When views were expressed in this manner with regard to ministerial portfolios and the subjects that come under their purview, it was evident from the views expressed by certain government MPs that they too seemed disappointed. We have been dedicated to the United National Party for a long time. I engaged in politics by selling off my personal property. I never engaged in politics to earn money. However, I have a responsibility towards those who have supported me over the years. To do some service to them, I need a ministerial portfolio. The union of the president and Mahinda Rajapaksa set a positive precedence to the country. They showed that this can be done with just 30 cabinet ministers. If these people are trying to increase this number once again, we would like to ask them to try it for 1 year and show us. I told them that I would accept a ministerial post that would allow me to do some service to the people of the estate sector. They promised me that they would do it. Backbenchers are asking for ministerial portfolios. Some MPs have been given 2 to 3 ministerial portfolios. Many ministerial portfolios have been given to MPs who were taken from the national list, and their facilities have been increased. We are the people elected by the people. Why are they doing this to us? We are deeply saddened by this. As mentioned by V. Radhakrishnan, who are these cabinet ministers who entered parliament through the national list? They are Tilak Marapana and Malik Samaravikrama. It was after much consideration that I went down to a non-cabinet ministerial portfolio from a cabinet ministerial portfolio. If he doesn't do this properly, then I must believe that he is deceiving me. I was promised a promotion and was offered the non-cabinet ministerial portfolio. If they decide to increase the cabinet to more than 30, then the main opposition of the parliament, the joint opposition under the leadership of Mahinda Rajapaksa, will go to courts against it.
Meanwhile, JVP Central Working Committee member Vasanta Samarasinghe spoke on the crisis over ministerial portfolios within the government.
The squabble these days is over the division of ministries. They don't understand the institutions that belong to the minister. Now they've started a crisis in the government. But what about the country, the future of our country, the children, their education, the children's school uniforms, the teachers of tomorrow? They don't talk about these things. The government is burdening the people during this crisis as well. Taxpayers' money is being used to pay their salaries, their office rent, their fuel allowances, the food they purchase from the canteen, and the salaries of their staff. But they do not solve the problems of the people. It is clear now that the government has no vision or plan for the future.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe visited the Munneswaram temple today.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe engaged in religious observances at the Munneswaram temple in Chilao today. The Premier then visited the Munneswaram Bhadrakali Amman temple. A group including MPs Palitharange Bandara and Shantha Sisira Abesekara accompanied the Prime Minister on his visit.
The Island newspaper reported today on a revelation made by US authorities on the diplomatic immunity of former ambassador to the US, Jalia Wickramasuriya.
According to the report, Jalia Wickramasuriya signed what is known as the I-508 form when he sought permanent residence in the US on the 25th of March 2014. The report notes that therefore he waived his rights, privileges, exemptions and immunity at the time he sought adjustment of his visa status to permanent residency. US authorities have filed indictments against former Ambassador Jalia Wickramasuriya before a grand jury for illegal financial transactions. According to the report, with the US authorities officially announcing details about the indictment, it is expected that Sri Lanka's former ambassador Wickramasuriya will set a record to become the first head of a Sri Lankan mission to be prosecuted in the country to which he was posted.
The army says that plans have been made to release 1,099 acres of farmlands in the northern province to their original owners.
A communique issued by the army stated that the farmlands will be released based on the president's instructions. Thereby, plans have been made to release 194 acres of land belonging to the Forest Conservation Department in Jayapuram, Poonakari in the Kilnochi district. The army added that 285 acres of land in the same district, along with 120 acres of land owned by the Forest Conservation Department in Udayar Kuddikulam in Pudukuririppu in the Mullaitivu district, will be released. Another 500 acres of a 600-acre land plot of the Forest Conservation Department in Vellamkulam in Mana will also be released. The communique issued by the Sri Lanka Army states that this land will be released during the second week of January next year.
The annual award ceremony of the Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineering Sri Lanka Section Congress 2018 was held last evening.
The IEEE Sri Lanka section has been established to foster technological innovation and excellence for the advancement of technical professionalism and aims to provide a common platform for students, young professionals and women in engineering to receive public endorsement and inspire others. The IEEE Sri Lanka Section Congress 2018 was held last night with an attendance of over 300 engineers and representatives from 19 universities and more than 200 delegates from around the country. Chancellor of the University of Moratuwa, Emeritus Professor Vidya Jyoti KKYW Pereira was among other notable attendees. Group Director of the Capital Maharaja Organisation Limited, Siobhan Daniel, presided as the chief guest of the event and delivered the keynote address.
2 villagers in the Kakirava Divisional Secretariat was vested with the public by the Minister of Housing, Construction and Cultural Affairs and the Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Sajith Premadasa.
The 2 villages named Hirukiranagama and Dividinugama was built in Ihalagama, Kakirava. Ownership deeds were presented to low-income families and state employees to whom this village is dedicated to. 50 kidney patients were awarded 13.2 million rupees in financial aid. Meanwhile, Minister Sajith Premadasa distributed 14 million rupees worth of loans among 35 police officers. I recall my father's 2.6 million housing project which spanned over 1977, 83 and 89. But after his demise at the 94 election, they accused that Premadasa built chicken pens. As to my memory, in 1995 or 96, then Minister Nimal Siripala presented the 100,000 Housing Projects Initiative between 78 and 83 to the Habitat Conference. They gained recognition abroad by boasting on what Premadasa did. Now some people are acting as jokers, saying that more houses are being built than when Ranasinghe Premadasa did. Please stop making false accusations and disrespecting the people. The frontrunner of the housing revolution in the country is none other than my late father, Ranasinghe Premadasa.
Nivasa Viplave, Peramaga Gaman Karua, Vena Kaurut Neve, Divangata Mage Adaraniya Pianan, Ranasinghe Premadasa Genega, Mambumadam Premiasa.
A project to construct a road across Singharaj Forest, which is considered as a World Heritage by the UNESCO, is in the middle of controversy.
People who visit the Singharaj Forest Reserve from the Kalawana Kuduva entrance point travel via this footpath. This is how the said road is being constructed with the use of backhoe machines. According to environmental organizations, the area where the road is being constructed by cutting trees is a habitat to many avian species that are indigenous to Sri Lanka. They further note, while there is another alternate route for travel, the destructive construction of this road will lead to sand racketing operations.
This road construction project carried out harming the environment is not suitable at all. With a width of 3 to 4 feet is enough. People visit the forest for its biodiversity. If the forest looks like a pavement wherever the travelers visit, their expectations will fall short.
This is a massive destruction as far as the environment is concerned. There are plenty of other meaningful projects to be carried out inside the forest. Newsfirst made an inquiry on these allegations from the Forest Conservation and Preservation Director General Anura Haturusinghe. This footpath was damaged due to the heavy rain and the landslides that occurred last year. Therefore, we decided to reconstruct this path for the travellers. The project contains laying lock stones throughout 1,600 meters and evacuating the soil on either sides. There is no damage caused to this environment by this endeavour.
Himasha Ehsan.
Are you the most skilled Triforces athlete this year?
Sports Bus Allianz Platinum Awards 2018.
Well, the results of the GCE Advanced Level Examination were released last night. Here is a comprehensive report on the candidates who top scored at the exam.
Kalani Samudra Rajapaksa from the Gampaha Ratnavali Balika Vidyalaya topped the biology stream at the advanced level examination.
I studied the lessons I was taught on a daily basis. Other than that, I continued to revise what I studied. I repeatedly attempted to answer past paper questions from the examination as well as past term examinations. So I was able to face the examination without any stress. My advice would be set a goal in your life and do everything that you can to achieve that goal.
Ravindu Shashika from DS Sinanayaka College, Colombo was placed second in the biology stream, while Mahmoud Rizmi Mahmoud Hakim from Zahira College, Matle was placed third. Placed first in the physics stream was Chatuni Hansini Vasanta from Visakha Vidyalaya, Colombo.
I would like to tell my brothers and sisters that the advanced level examination isn't easy. You can't expect to perform at this exam if you idle. You must work hard, attempt past papers, and if you enjoy studying the subjects, you can excel in this exam.
මාර ආසාවෙන් යොක කරාම කවදාවත් ප්‍රශ්නයක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ හොඳ ජයග්‍රහණ අනිවාර්යයෙන් ලබා ගන්න පුළුවන්.
Chamidu Suran from Richmond College, Gaul was placed second in the island in the physics stream, while Temindu Janit Vijayasekara of Royal College, Colombo was placed third. Kasun Ninduranga of Malayadeva College, Kurunagala was ranked the first in the commerce stream. I would like to thank the previous schools I studied as well.
Well, while congratulating all the students who were able to do well in the advanced level examinations, a comprehensive story can be viewed on our website www.newsfirst.lk. And with that, we wrap up tonight's edition of Weekend Primetime News. Thank you very much for joining us. Good night.